Charlie, what's up? What's up? What's up? Anyways, you're welcome to the 6th episode of Tea with IVE. My name is Ivy, and it's officially the 6th week of Tea with IVE, and I am super, super grateful for you. Thank you so much for sticking with me and for helping me grow. Okay, this is amazing, and I'm looking forward to doing more with you. As usual, I am your host. Some call me the plant mama, some call me Dapper Queen of Kings. I have been called many things. If you're looking for my social media handles, you can just type at @IvyEnyonom_ on any social media platform, and I will pop right up. Okay, today is going to be an interesting episode, I promise you, because we're going to talk about something that nobody likes to talk about, but we're going to talk about it. And this episode came to me when I was pruning my plants. Okay, and so today I'm going to do a reverse and actually start with what plants taught me, because this whole episode came to me as a result of that. Okay, so especially for herbs, okay, you are advised when growing herbs to prune the herb. Now there's a skill to it. If you miss the skill or you don't learn the skill, you can lose the entire plant, okay, or at least that full branch that you pruned from. Another thing about pruning is, especially when you're pruning big trees, if you don't prune or trim the right way, you leave the tree in a very imbalanced position and the tree would fall off easily if there's a rain or something. And it got me thinking, as a plant lover, when I started, and I used to hear about pruning, I said, the plants now I wanted to grow, it's not growing as fast as I wanted to. Now you're telling me that I should cut some. How? But guys, since I started pruning, my plants grow so fast. This plant you're seeing here, just 4 months ago, was a cutting. Okay, and just 4 months trained, and it's looking lush than the plant I cut it from. Okay, and so it got me thinking about life and how sometimes we feel like, if I cut this person off, I'll lose this, I'll lose that. Hey, what if nobody else can fill this space? And then this person is being toxic. This person is not allowing you to grow. This person is sitting on your happiness and everything, but you're afraid to cut them off. And you keep making excuses for why you still want to have them around and not cut them off. In fact, when plants have pests or anything around, it's advisable to cut that part off, pruning, so that it doesn't spread to the whole plant. Sometimes you just prune not because they are bad or not because the leaves are bad, but it encourages new growth. So let's bring it into real life. Today's tea. Yes, I'm drinking lavender and chamomile. So if you think I'm relaxed, that's why. Mine is super relaxed, because lavender and chamomile are both known to relax your muscles and calm you down. Okay, calm your nerves and all that. So you should try it. It's really good for anxiety. It'll help you sleep better and all of that. And so let's start the story. I'll always start with a story, because the thing is, I feel like it just makes sense when you can relate to it. It just makes sense. Okay, I'm not trying to be technical or anything. It just makes a lot of sense. And because for me, life is my biggest teacher, and life teaches me my experiences. I told myself that everything I find myself doing, or every experience, every day, I look out for the lesson. What was the lesson in it? I promise you, nothing is random. So, I had a friend, and I had known this friend for over 2 decades. And everybody kept telling me that this person is pulling you down. Oh, this person said A, B, and C. I'll say, my friend can never do that. Then I'll go and ask my friend, did you do or say A, B, C? Me, never. And sometimes I saw it, like, I feel like unconsciously or without noticing, like I knew, because sometimes they were the only people I told. Like, I all told you. How is this thing out? You are telling me that you are not the one who said it. You know what they say, walls have ears. And I would believe, because I felt like this was one of my oldest friendships. And I wanted to hold on to it. I wanted to hold on to it with everything in me. I didn't want to let go. And it happens to all of us. You are in a particular circle of friends. You always hang out together. But you see that the only time they are cool with you is when you have money. Or when there's something of yours that they can take. Perhaps there's nothing wrong with this friendship. Perhaps you've just outgrown each other. You've moved to one side of town, they've moved to the other side of town. You're not seeing each other as often. There's nothing wrong. It's just outgrown its purpose. Those are the three types. It's either it's a circle of friends and they always weigh you down, or it's a particular friend who's always seeing things about you and you hear it and you don't want to believe it, but you know, your heart of hearts, that if you sat down to analyze a reality, but because you want to hold on to a certain, this is my friend of 3 decades, 30 years, 20 years, my longest friend. No, meow. Guys, I'm here to tell you that it's time to prune. It's time to cut it off. And it's okay. It's very okay. It doesn't mean they were useless. No, they definitely had some good parts. But for you to grow, you need to prune. Okay? And there's something about pruning, that I've noticed. So, plants, let's use this ivy plant, for instance, they usually grow upwards, right? And then it's like, when you're pruning, I should have brought a herb for this, but there's a video of me teaching how to prune herbs. You should check it out and it will make more sense to you. I'll probably put a link in the comments or something so that you can see it. But it's like, there's something I have noticed about pruning, right? And whenever you take a scissors and you cut off a certain part of a plant, the part you cut off, that node right on top of where you cut off, can become 2 branches. What does that tell us? It tells us that it's okay. If you cut off 1, 2 can grow in its place. So don't feel like you've lost. You can get 2 more, sometimes 3, depending on how well you do it, or depending on how well the plant is flourishing. So don't be afraid, okay? If you've outgrown each other, it's okay. If it's time for you to move on to another job, it's okay. If it's time for you to cut off that toxic person in your life, it's okay. You won't die. You will be very, very okay. I feel like sometimes we hold on to it because and you don't want to let go. And sometimes, let's be fair, sometimes the problem is actually, I don't know which one to cut off. I'm not sure. Yes, sometimes that's it. You know that you have a circle of friends. You are not sure who's causing the problem, who's causing the issues for you. You're not sure. You don't want to burn bridges, so you keep weighing it. Yeah, we've all been there. I'm not saying burn the bridge. No. Think that amicably. Oh, Charlie. Sometimes you don't have to say 2 words, Charlie. these days I'm being busy. Wow, sorry, say I know they hang out with you too much, but and they just gradually distance yourself. If it's a close friendship and you need closure and you need to end it, say, you know what, this is not working for me. It's time for me to move on. It's time for me to go. This is not working for me. I wish you all the best. I love you from afar. But it's time for me to move. It's time for me to grow. It's time for me to proceed, like move on to the next thing. Unfortunately, you are pulling me back, doing on to me, and it's making it hard for me to move. Please let me go. It's not a fight. It has to be a fight to fight because some people are annoying. Okay, but just make sure that you're pruning right. There's something I learned in church growing up, and it stuck with me. There was one day my pastor was preaching about the spirit of discernment. And I think it's also intuition. What's your intuition? What's your mind telling you? What's your heart telling you? Have you analyzed the situation? Who do you think is the rot in that circle of friends? Who do you think has outgrown the friendship? Find it. Be calm. Don't do giddy giddy. Find that weak link and cut it off. I promise you, by the time you cut it off, by the time you're done, you would see two amazing ones growing in its place, and it goes really fast because now it has energy to focus on new growth. Now you have energy to move. Nobody's pulling you down. Nobody's dragging you. So it's, like I said, sometimes there's nothing wrong with a friendship. It has just outgrown its purpose. That one too is fine. It's okay. Let go. Prune it. Hold on. I promise you, the people who love you, you haven't met all of them yet. The people who love you, you haven't met all of them yet. And that's a fact. Look, you think that you've met all the... No, there are more to come. People who would do things for you. People who would, without question, support your dreams, support your movement, support your next phase. They will come. They will come. Look, I promise you they'll come. Especially if you're doing what we talked about in the previous episode about downtimes, and you'll just realize it with time, when you prove, it feels like after cutting this thing off, ants look small now. They need to shock you with a big leaf. Okay, all this you're seeing is as a result of pruning. If we were not pruning this plant, it would have been one long, lanky plant. But because it went through pruning and training, it's developed different branches, and the same plant is giving you different see, and there's a new one coming up here. Guys, don't be afraid to cut them. Cut it off. Cut it off. Cut it off and watch yourself bloom and grow and flourish. That's just how it is. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about is burning bridges. Pruning is not the same as burning bridges, okay? Now, I'll give you an example. You have a boss. Okay, no, I always have a story. Let me tell you a story. I had a boss, right? And I went to this boss and said, boss, there's a training I want to undergo. I want to take this training. This company is in Ghana and they're doing a training and it's going to benefit me in A, B, and C way. And in fact, it will rub off what I do for this company. I gave this boss a month's notice, okay? So I'm talking to my boss. My boss says, really? Sounds like a cool thing to do. Okay. You know what? Remind me when it's getting closer. So in my mind, boss has agreed. I went ahead to register. Was ready. Think, was it free or was it paid for? I don't remember, but a friend hooked me up and I was ready. And week 3, I reminded boss again. I said, oh, okay. Yeah, you told me last week. I remember. Week 2, I reminded boss again. Then 3 days, a week before the event, I reminded boss again. 3 days to the event, I reminded boss again, and boss said, you know, I have thought about it. I think that you shouldn't do this training. I think the notice is too short. So you should take the next one. And I said, boss, I don't know when the next one would be. What if this company doesn't come back to Ghana? This is the first time they are here. I don't know what their plans are, but what if they don't come back and I don't get this training? I'm sorry, but I really need to take this training. And my boss said, well, you're going to have to choose between the job and the training. Guys, this was my first job. Like, after national service, I wait for house to get a job before I got this job. And 8 months into it, my boss tells me that you can't take this training. It's a force. So I came out and I called my mentors, Pascaline. I'll tell you about her one of these days. She's an amazing woman. And I told my mentor, I said, this is what's happening. And my mentor said, what do you feel like doing? And I said, this thing will help me. I can feel it. And I want to go for this training. And then I called my friend Irene as well. May her soul rest in peace. And I asked and she said, Ivy, follow your heart. So I went back to the boss and said, boss, I've thought about it. This is like day 2. So 2 days to the event. The event is like on a Monday and this is like Thursday the week before. I said, boss, I've thought about it. I wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to work with you. I appreciate it and I am grateful for all that I have learned. But I think I want to take the training. So I am going to prepare my handing over notes and then hand over everything in my possession, every company property in my possession to you. So tomorrow is going to be my last day. And my boss said, okay, I hear, hand over everything and leave. I said, thank you, boss. What did I do? I didn't burn the bridge. I didn't say that because my boss messed me up and encouraged me and I went for this training and now it's telling me that I didn't say that because of that I'll disrespect this person. And in fact, I won't even say bye. I'll just disappear. I'll drop everything. No, I didn't do that. That's what we call not burning a bridge. Because no matter what, this person is older. This person has achieved more. You don't know when next you need them. You might not need them, but maybe someone you know might need them. And at that point, I was starting off my career. I didn't want any bad blood. I didn't want any curses on my life. I didn't want any giddy beer. So I said my thank you and I left. Now this job will go on. In fact, I would meet an amazing person in this training who will help me get my first multinational job. And I will go on to do that and that will open more doors for me. Imagine if I refused to Prune. Imagine if I had said, I'm afraid to cut this person off. Imagine if I had said, okay, I'll wait for the next one. And I'll probably still be working there. That is how some of you will be working in the same company for 50 years. Hey, if the company is good, stay there. But if it's toxic, it's time to prune. Okay, just cut it off and move on. I promise you, you will be okay. It's only a matter of time, but you will be okay. And so today on Plants Taught Me, pruning encourages growth. When done right, each branch stem pruned will give you 2 more branches. And that is growth, okay? So don't be afraid to prune. Prune when necessary, know when to prune. And just give yourself grace and cut them off. Thank you so much for joining this episode. Tea with IVE. This is episode 6. I am so guys, the way it's going looks like there's something that's gonna happen with the women very soon. And I'm trying to warm you in, but you guys are making me too excited. You never know. You never know. I just might bring on a guest one of these days. But for now, thank you for joining in. Big ups to Pebble Up. Remember, it's going to be on Pebble Up every Sunday or Monday. Pebble Up first. And then on the Thursday, it's going to be on all DSPs. Thank you so much for tuning in. Big ups to yourself. Remember, you are not basic. Cheers. Cut.
This goes out to all my ladies. We are more about.